Welcome to Hannah's Heart.
So Hannah, she's just one of the women who did struggle with infertility in the Bible.
No matter who we are, we can be inspired by the fact that Hannah took her pain to God and God heard her and was with her.
So when she was praying at the temple, she had been weeping and not eating, and her lips were moving, but her eyes were closed, and the priest was like, "Hey, why are you drunk at the temple?"
It can become an obsession when you want a child so deeply.
And desiring that baby and to be a mama. Every holiday, every Mother's Day.
This is not a show that's going to promise you a certain outcome, but this is a show that says, however God answers your cry, we know that He's enough.
Hey, I'm Ann, and you're listening to Hannah's Heart on American Family Radio. We're excited that you're here today. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube by searching for Hannah's Heart. That's Hannah with 2 H's. And you can also email us at hannahsheart@afa.net. We're there for prayer requests or even show suggestions. And we've heard from so many of you guys and are inspired by y'all all the time from y'all. Get in touch with us on social media and by that email. Today, I am alone in the studio other than with our producer, Sherry. But there's not going to be anyone else in the studio with me today because we have a call-in super special guest. Her name is Adrienne, and I have actually never met her in real life, but I would love to one day. But we met actually through social media, and I've been so inspired by her and how real she is, and just of her love of all things natural. And it's really been inspiring to me to make some lifestyle changes of my own just from getting to know her through social media. So I'm excited to learn even more from her today. So Adrienne, are you there?
I'm here. Hi.
Hey, it's good to hear from you.
Good to be here.
Good. I'm so glad you came on. Thank you for being here. So do you want to just start out by just kind of introducing yourself by just letting us know a little bit more about you before we get started?
Yes, absolutely. My name's Adrienne Pleasant. I am almost 34 years old. I am from the Memphis, Tennessee area. Currently living in Kansas City, Kansas, or just outside of it with my husband. We got married in 2019, and we have a little 7-month-old boy named Falky, and we are just living in our first house we bought.
All right.
We move every year or two for my husband's job, but hoping that we'll be here in this city for a while because of his job position currently. So, yeah, that's a little bit about where I'm from.
Yeah, so Memphis is actually not far away from Tupelo, where our home base is.
That's right.
And so I see that you come to visit family and stuff still in Memphis. Is that right?
That's right. A lot of my family's actually just south of Memphis in the North Mississippi area, so
Okay.
even closer to Tupelo.
Yeah, so that's not far at all.
No.
But yeah, well, I'm so excited, and yeah, watching y'all get y'all's house and stuff was so exciting, and then watching Falky grow up, how cute he is. But yeah, so when did your husband's name? What is his name?
His name's Nash.
Nash. Okay. So when did y'all decide, like before you got married, that you wanted kids, or was that a conversation after? How did that go?
I think that we definitely talked about it before, but it was kind of always like we want a family. That's part of the reason we got married, because we were on the same page with that.
Yeah.
Which is pretty important these days because a lot of people don't want kids anymore.
That's true. That's true. So the few times that me and you have like talked individually, other than, just commenting on social media stuff, you mentioned going through some struggles, maybe not just with getting pregnant, but with hormones and stuff like that. Do you mind telling us what that looked like for you?
Yeah, sure. I would have to back up quite a few years to even before I was married. It was really my early 20s that I really began a journey with a lot of mental health issues, anxiety, and depression.
Mm.
And, it took several years for me to even really come to the understanding that I was struggling with it. I had at least 3 jobs all the time. So obviously you can imagine that's a
Wow.
lot of stress with working and, relationships that weren't working out so well. So just kind of like the combination of all that. I was just under a lot of anxiety and struggling with depression. Um, and I would say it was around the time me and my husband started dating. I was introduced to Young Living essential oils.
Uh-huh.
I had a roommate who used them. I had heard of essential oils. I didn't know like purity was a thing. I had my little TJ Maxx oils that I
Yeah.
bought from the store, and I
Uh-huh.
used them because I thought they smell good.
Right.
I didn't know there was therapeutic benefits. So that kind of, I remember one night I hadn't slept in 3 or 4 nights, and my roommate came in and said, "I made you a roller with my oils from Young Living. I think this is going to help you sleep." So I rolled it on the bottom of my feet and I was out in 10 minutes. And
Wow.
I remember that was kind of my like aha moment
Yeah.
with it matters, the products that you use.
Yeah. Yeah.
So from there, I got my own kit, and that kind of is where I began my low tox journey. I really had no idea. Like, you don't know until you know, right?
Right.
So, that most of the products I was using on my body, in my home, cleaning products, makeup, all of that was super toxic to my hormones. And
Mhm.
hormones that are imbalanced can result in things like anxiety and depression among, you know, struggling to get pregnant,
Right.
miscarry,
Right.
all the things. They're all connected and it's all, been proven. So I kind of began that journey there a few years before I got married, to really start looking at what was in my house, that I could start replacing to use products that weren't going to harm me. And unfortunately, there's just really no regulation in America on skincare products, cleaning
Mm.
products. So it's really hard to know. You really have to be your like own best researcher, which is such a journey. It would just be so nice to pick up something and be able to trust it, but that's just
Right.
not the day and age that
Yeah.
we live in.
Yeah.
So over the next few years, I really like ditched all my cleaners to use a plant-based cleaner. I started using essential oils for my emotional health, and I saw, such a drastic change. It helped my sleep. Um, so yeah, it really kind of took me out of that, excuse me, fight or flight mode that I was constantly in. Like,
Mm.
you want to do better,
Right.
but when your brain and your body is so tired and so just like full of anxiety all the time, I think it's really hard to know how to like make those huge changes, which is why I'm so thankful for how it's just been a journey full of like giving myself grace and going like one step at a time.
Yeah. Because that's a lot of
Um,
change all at one time. Lots of things to look out for.
it really is. So I would say I started there with looking at the products in my home, which led me on a journey to, oh, so not only does like what you put in your body matter on like a product level, but like nutrition, food, how I'm eating also matters. So that's kind of the next stage I went through was, man, I just didn't really pay attention to the food I was eating.
Hmm.
And I started to, honestly, I never followed a diet. I just like to say now that I'm really passionate about eating real food and knowing where it comes from. And if you kind of, I've learned, if you kind of stick with that, um, it takes you far. It makes
Yeah.
things really simple. Um, so yeah, cleaning up my diet, cleaning up the products in my home, what I was, using on my body that were, known hormone disruptors, took me out of that just state of constant just fight or flight. And I feel like in this day and age, we already operate in that because of our
Hmm.
society being so fast paced. It's not really looked upon to slow down and start
Right.
thinking about what you're actually doing. It's like keep up. If you can't keep up, then you get thrown out kind of thing.
Yeah.
So it was definitely a big mindset shift. So yeah, went into eating better and then got married. And if you want, I can just kind of keep going.
Yeah, please do. I'm so interested. It's for real.
Yeah,
So,
so it's been amazing. Like obviously the last 2 years have been pretty crazy. But for me, they've been some of the most healing because I've really, really been able to focus in on what I was responsible for when it came to how I treated my body. Little did I know how much I outsourced my health as far as putting it in the hands of, whether it's a doctor or a friend or someone who thinks they know better, realizing at the end of the day that, well, fundamentally, what had shifted over the years is that I'm truly responsible for what comes into my home. And God really showed me through this process, like how He has given us the tools for a body that is designed to thrive that He
yeah,
made. And I think that we don't hear that
I
in this
agree.
day and
Yeah.
age in culture. We have healthcare, which is more like disease care, symptom care. Um, it's really hard to work with people who are there to get to the root of the issues.
Instead of just like
So,
giving you a pill or something.
right.
Yeah.
It's not really, not often. And I remember this because when I first had some anxiety and depression, I went to the doctor and he had me fill out a questionnaire like level of 1 to 10, how sad are you on the average day? And he comes in and he was just like, I'm so sorry, seems like you're depressed, here's a prescription for Lexapro. Like
Oh, gosh.
that is all it took.
Uh-huh.
I didn't end up filling it and I'm thankful for that,
Yeah.
but that's all it took to go in and get on a huge life-changing medication. So my heart is just, I really am passionate about teaching people how to first get out of that stress response that most of us just always are in, whether it's jobs, kids,
Yeah.
life stressors. Just take a step back and really say what's actually going on. I mean, there's so many layers, and I'm still in this like beautiful journey of figuring it out, but I've had so much healing in the process. So I got married and we immediately got pregnant literally 2 weeks after the wedding.
Wow.
So that was kind of crazy. And we miscarried, I think, around 6 weeks. And
Okay.
then fast forward, I think it was 9 months later, we had another miscarriage.
Oh, sorry.
And no, that's okay. It is sad, but I've learned so much through the process. Loss is so hard. I'm not
Yeah.
trying to say it's not, but I've had so many like I'm so thankful for it because it happened to me to teach me something.
Yeah.
And that's which is being passionate about teaching other people about how the body is designed to heal. And it has to be so hard. Like I think it's a little bit different for people. Loss is loss, miscarriage is still loss, but like there's different types of infertility, right?
Yeah.
Like you get pregnant and you lose the pregnancy, you can't get pregnant at all. So I've learned a lot in the process. When I got pregnant with Falky, like struggled with so much fear.
Yeah.
It was almost like I couldn't even enjoy
Oh, I
the
get
fact that
that.
I was pregnant again because I I just like wanted I just wanted to wait and make sure we got through like that first, trimesters so that everything was okay. And
Yeah, to
my
keep
mind,
yourself from getting hurt again.
yes, exactly, very protective of my um of my hurt from the past, and my husband was the same. It was almost like we didn't even want to talk about it, which
Yeah.
is really sad.
I know. It is. It is. And then
Because
you
you want
almost
to
feel bad
feel,
for feeling
yeah,
that way. Yeah.
exactly. Well, through the last 2 years, I have been involved in some women's circle that were focused on a lot of inner healing work. And through that, I discovered a lot of different things. One being energy medicine, which is, if I had to compare it to something, it would be acupuncture, which is like what a chiropractor will do. And
Yeah.
they use the needles where they put it at the end points of your meridians. And your meridians are like, it's basically like an energy bloodstream in your body.
Okay.
So they run through all of your organs. And a lot of times, due to stress, trauma, a lot of the energy in your body will stop flowing. And that is what, especially in really only in the Eastern medicine tradition, that is what like causes a lot of illness. And so this was just like a total mind shift for me. Like, I knew eating right was good. I knew my like low tox lifestyle, but then I was introduced to like really working on an energetic level to keep myself healthy. So I actually have a little daily just movement energy routine that I do. And I honestly think that's like what got me through that first trimester and honestly the whole pregnancy.
Really?
I could tell such a shift in my mental and emotional energy as I did that every day.
Is that the thumping? Is that what you've...
Yeah, it's like tapping different areas. You're basically doing the same thing as acupuncture. You're just using your hands.
Okay, I remember you saying that before.
Yeah. So I feel like I've gained a lot of different tools, and it has been really empowering to be able to use them and have a healthy last pregnancy and my really wonderful home birth experience. So yeah, it's all been a wonderful experience, and I love talking about it because I don't know that a lot of women who maybe struggle with the same thing get that point of view, or start with like, what are you eating? What are you putting on your skin, all the way to what in your, life traumas and all those things might be kind of in the way of, I don't know, being at the root of a lot of anxiety issues.
Yeah, well, just hormone issues in general.
Hormone imbalances that can contribute to making it difficult to get pregnant.
Yeah. Well, see, we struggled with infertility for almost 4 years before we had a healthy pregnancy, and have four babies in heaven. But my doctor, I love my doctor, but that was never really brought up. Diet was brought up. He put me on the keto diet, and he got me on medicine for insulin, but I never did realize how much hormones have to do with insulin, or that insulin has to do with hormones. Honestly, instead of just going out on my own and kind of figuring that out, and I honestly feel like that was more from the Lord putting it on my heart about a little over a year ago for him. I mean, I just felt the need to like get rid of everything plastic in my house, and watch out for shampoos and makeup and stuff like that. And then somehow, because of us having a mutual friend, I found you, and I really feel like just encouraged me without even knowing it to really look more into this lifestyle of just trying to do better, almost a more simple lifestyle, but because of everything that we're introduced to every single day, it almost seems like a harder lifestyle, to be more simple, Well,
yeah. It's harder to go from fast paced to slowing down.
Yeah.
Because our society doesn't applaud that. Slowing down, really taking care of yourself. They applaud what you can get done.
Yeah. It's almost like that as a weakness.
Right. And it's so the opposite, because what I've discovered is when you truly can take a step back and get honestly, I do a lot of breath work, things like that. Slowing down has created space for me to be able to take care of myself, and now turn and take care of those around me in ways I was never able to show up. I was able to, show up and do the things, but nothing was fulfilling. Yeah. Nothing felt like I was really able to connect and make a huge difference. I realized like how much how important it is to work on yourself so that you can turn around and really like love other people. I
Yeah.
think sometimes we get so caught up on the like ladder, just love people, but we don't realize that it has to come from like an overflow. Otherwise, it's just kind of like you're doing it because you have to.
Yeah. If you're not
And,
really experiencing that in the beginning.
right. And it's all connected, and that's why I'm so passionate about it, especially, in the Christian world, we are, it's our job to love other people. And what I've come to really understand is like the relationship you have with yourself is the most important, because if you don't know how to put yourself first and to take care of yourself, how can you like really show up
For
for
other
the
people.
people around you, like
Yeah.
your friends, your, church community, and your like kids?
Right.
I want to be there for my kids, not just there, physically, but emotionally, and not drained all the time. I mean,
Right.
mom life is hard, period.
Yeah.
But I want to be, operating from a place of overflow, and not just doing what I can because I'm in that just like constant fast paced go, 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 because that's what I think I'm supposed to do.
Right. So for us beginners out there, because I definitely still feel like I'm a beginner of trying to do things a little bit more natural and holistic, what are some of the things that you would first go to, like to help someone get started on this lifestyle that you're living?
Okay, that's such a great question. And I know it can feel so overwhelming at the beginning. It's really simple. Well, first of all, find a mirror and look at yourself and thank your body, your physical body, for every single thing it has done for you up until this point. God put you in this amazing temple, and it's designed to support you. And fundamentally understanding that was such a huge shift for me. I do a lot of mirror work talking to myself. So, look at yourself and thank yourself. Now, start slow and have patience. And you have someone like me, you have someone like Anne who can really we go through our house. It's called ditch and switch. You look at your cleaners. Thankfully, Young Living has one cleaner called Thieves that replaced every single cleaner in my home, and it
Yes,
works
I love it.
amazingly.
Smells like Christmas.
Yes. So those are, I mean, I can't even go to the toxic levels in our cleaners. And then next, I would look at your skincare, like what's in your shower? What are you putting on your hair? Your shampoo goes directly into your brain. What is it absorbing?
Oh, wow.
Start typing some of those ingredients into Google. Just put dangers of, and you'll never look back. Like,
Oh,
seriously.
scary.
So skincare, and then what do you have for yourself? Like time carved out to sit, even if it's just like 2 to 5 minutes of deep breath work. Breath work is so healing, especially for hormones. So those are some really simple things, because that's going to kind of start to take you out of that constant fight or flight when you can find time for yourself, and when you can start not putting as many toxic products on yourself and on your kids. And it's really simple. And if you need help with ordering from Young Living, you can talk to me. You can talk to Anne. We both have a way to hook you up.
Yes,
So
that is
I would,
correct.
and
That
in the
is
thought of keeping it simple, that's where I'll start, I guess.
right. Well, Adrienne, thank you so much. We need to go ahead and just plan an episode 2 to get a little bit more in depth in the things that you even talked today, because I feel like we just skimmed the surface. But we are coming up on our mark to be done. So do you mind leading us in prayer, maybe just praying over the people who are considering possibly changing to this easier lifestyle, a little more slow-paced lifestyle?
I will. And I will put some resources in show notes, because there's a foundation. I've got a lot of my information for making your body healthier to grow a baby in.
That would be
it's
great.
changed my life.
Great.
Yeah. God, thank you so much for bringing me here. Thank you for the connection with Anne. And I just want to pray over all the women who are listening, who might be struggling with infertility, God, would you just show them how their body is designed to heal? And would you put the tools in their hands today that they may have never had before? Thank you so much, and I know you'll do this. Amen.
Amen. Thank you so much, Adrienne, for coming on. I've been so encouraged and inspired, and I know our listeners have been too. Thank you so much for listening to Hannah's Heart, and we'll see you next time.